Alright, what's going on, guys? Your boy Holloway here, and today we have a first ride. Now, if you know me, I am a D1R1 hater, okay? But I'm willing to give this a try, you know what I'm saying? This one is tuned, it has a full Graves exhaust. It's tuned basically, damn, got a little close. But it's tuned basically for the track, so the throttle's a little bit twitchy. I've already rode it a little bit just to come get gas. And as you guys know, in true R1 fashion, he's rocking no plate. So if I get pulled over, I might be a little bit screwed, but that'll be good for content. And when you got this bike, they already scrubbed in the tires a little bit. Like I said, it's a track machine. So like I said, we're gonna jump on the bike and give my honest opinion. And like I said, I'm a D1R1 hater, but maybe it'll change my mind once I get to riding this thing a little bit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, me personally, I don't like the sound when I'm riding. Like, everyone's like, oh, the R1 cross-plane sound. Hey, I don't personally like it. It kind of sounds like, you know, when you were a kid, you put a water bottle in the back tire of your bike or the front tire and you start riding. Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like to me. But I know you guys love this sound, so I'm going to give you guys a little startup. Alright, first initial reaction to getting on this bike. The previous R1 that I've ridden before, I didn't like it because I felt so like stretched out on the bike, you know what I'm saying? But this one, you know, I'm sitting more up on the tank. I feel like it's a lot more closer. I don't know, maybe it was a different model. I can't remember what model this year model this is. I'll throw it up on the screen while I'm editing. But it feels kind of alright. It feels similar to an S1K. I'm more of like upright seating position. It feels more like my Ducati, where like it's upright, but I'm leaned over, if that makes sense. Like my arms are more forward, you know? My second initial reaction was like, this bike needs clip-ons bad. Like, these bars are so close together. It feels like I'm riding like a 600. In a sense, like, everything is just so close. And maybe that's just the Yamaha line. I don't know about the newer ones, if the clip-ons are a little bit longer or whatever. But it just feels like it's just so close. Like, I'm a bigger dude, so like a clip-ons would obviously help me a lot better, but it feels so close. My Ducati feels so wide, and like I want to put clip-ons on my Ducati, but I know like it'll be just way too much. But yeah, like I was saying, everybody loves the R1 cross-plane sound. Me personally, like I said, I don't like it, but I will tell you something that I do like. When you decel on this bike, it pops like crazy. Like, but this one lets out one big pop, and then it kind of like little pops afterwards. But like, God, look at this. Oh, oh my God. Like, you guys know that typical R1 owner, they're always revving up, they're making it pop and shoot flames. Like, if I had an R1, that would be me. I cannot lie, because that's one thing good that I cannot like disagree with, is that they are going to shoot some flames, and the pops on decel or just in general, they're like insane. Similar to like the M1K, when you get that tuned and get an exhaust on it, oh man, crazy. Like I said, the throttle is very twitchy, even though it has been tuned for everything. Oh! Yeah, sir. Alright. Oh. Alright, I gotta be careful. This bike ain't registered and he ain't got no tag on it, so I gotta be careful. But yeah, like, the throttle, it's very twitchy, but like, it's not my bike, so I'm not used to it. I feel like if it was your bike, you'd be used to it or whatever. But I know there's aftermarket rear sets on here. The sitting position is like not bad, honestly. And this is an aftermarket seat. Well, not necessarily aftermarket. He had someone put gel in it for him, so it's a little bit more comfortable. But man, that first gear off the damn, when you get on the gas, man, it just pulls, brother. It pulls. A little pull in right here. Oh my God. Man, that pull was pretty torquey. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, whenever you do a pull, your forks extend. The forks just immediately just shot up, and I'm back in the seat. Like, dang, I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, Damn, them pops sound good. I can't lie. I cannot lie. Man, maybe I'm converting. Maybe I'm converting, you know? Dang, I didn't think about it. I might be converting, guys. Chat! Chat! I think I low-key like R1s now. No! So jumping into like why I kind of dislike R1s in a sense, and then this is my personal opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not based off of anybody else's opinion. This is personally me, how I like my bikes to ride and feel when I'm on them. The other R1 that I sat on and kind of rode a little bit, it felt like I was so far out, stretched out like Superman, and like I just could not get comfortable on that bike. Now, this one has aftermarket rear sets, and that's really about it to adjust your footing position and like how comfortable you're going to be on the bike. Obviously, it's not set up for me, but I feel like it's perfect. It fits. The only thing I can say, David, you need to adjust your brake lever, because your brake lever's right here, or your brake rear set's right here, and your lever's up here, and like my foot's at an angle trying to brake. That's the only thing. But yeah, it felt like it was super stretched out like this. Even when I was setting up on the tank, it didn't have a tank extender or anything. It was just like stock. Everyone knows this, and if you don't know this, you just don't know motorcycles. R1s just lack in all categories, where it's like power, like not necessarily power delivery, but just the available power that's there once you get a tune on it. Not only that, you have to heavily modify this bike to really give it its power that it should have came with from the factory. Now, the R1 that I did ride, it wasn't tuned. It might have had like a flame map on it or something like that, but as far as I know, it was not tuned for performance. Now, it had a full exhaust on it as far as like it making more horsepower with the full exhaust, but it wasn't tuned for performance, like I said. And then also, I just don't like the way they look. Like, if you look at an R1 like sideways, it looks like just so flat. It doesn't really have like a good profile. It doesn't have good curves. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't like, some people can make an R1 look good, and then I go get on one and it's like, damn, like what the hell are they talking about? This is terrible. Oh, she's getting arrested. Oh, and her vehicle towed. That's crazy. Ooh. Yeah, I see myself getting in trouble. But all the cops in this city are over there at that traffic stop, so I might be in the clear. Yeah, another reason why I don't really like R1s, similar to the Aprilias, like they're very sharp, and I'll have to tell you, I have to kind of explain it when I get rolling here. So yeah, like what I mean by very sharp, like the tank area and like how you sit, like it's just very sharp, and it just kind of like cuts my thighs, you know? Like I can't really explain it. If you sit on an Aprilia and you're like a bigger dude and you got big thighs and like big hamstrings, like a big butt, like you will know what I'm talking about. Like it like cuts you in this area right here, and it just hurts. It's not comfortable at all. Now this one isn't bad. It's not as bad as the other one that I sat on. Aprilia is by far the worst in that category as far as like body lines and how sharp they are, because like that's more like a skinny man's bike, you know. But like I said, I'm a bigger dude. Came to pull over real quick because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sound bite of just this raw sound of this cross plane R1. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I can't lie. Okay, it sounds kind of good, alright? It's just like at idle, and then when you're riding, it's just like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it also depends on what exhaust you put on there and like how it's tuned and stuff like that. Like, his doesn't backfire whenever you get on throttle. But, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, let's go hop back on the bike and let's continue this review. Now, I will say, he does have really good brakes on this bike. I don't know, I know they're not Brembo. Well, yeah, they're not Brembos, and I know that everyone complains about the R1 brakes, but these are actually pretty good. And I don't know if it's like because the guy before him put the rear sets on there and like did something with the caliper or whatever, or they might be brand new brake pads, but to me, the brakes are fine. Now, I will say real quick, like whenever you get off the throttle on this thing, like it's just instant cut power to the bike, and it's not very like smooth. And it's probably because it's after like the track or something, like it just cut power and ready to decel, or sorry, ready to downshift. But it's just very like, That was a good little pull right there. It had some nice power delivery. Now I will say, whenever you shift on this, and it might be the tune, I'm not sure. Whenever you shift, when you get back, and when you're on the throttle still, it's like a little delay, and the power kind of goes like that instead of like doo doo, and it's very steady and it's going up. But this one is like it's like you shift and then it dips down a little bit and then it curves back up. That's it. Like, I know you guys aren't really riding this bike right now. I'm trying to explain my best. I will say R1s are torquey as hell. Just torque monsters. Shout out to that boy Killer Cam and that boy Rex, Roadrunner Rex, because they be having the R1s on 12 o'clock, and I can see why, because it's a torque monster. This thing has torque in all gears. Man, I kind of wonder what I look like from the side on this thing. I know, like a freaking like big ass teddy bear on this small ass bike. And that's another thing I was gonna say real quick, was like, this bike just feels small. Like, I don't know what it is, and like, I mean, I don't want it to be like Boosa big, you know what I'm saying, but like, it just feels small for some reason. I mean, like I said, I know I'm a bigger dude, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, even though I'm sitting on it. You know what I mean? Like that right there, like, it just cuts so quick. Just throws you. Honestly, I'm surprised this thing kind of started up. He might have had to bump start it this morning whenever he rode it, whatever, but kind of surprised it started up. That's a good girl. You know what I'm saying? Yamahas have that problem of like not wanting to start. I don't know what it is, why their bikes just eat batteries for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now I do have a buddy that has an R1. He just got it actually. Shout out to SRT Ang. You know, he sold his R1, and then one of the homies got it. The same one that I got my Ducati from. I traded him. Where are you going? Like, where are you going? Alright, so back to what I was saying before I was really interrupted. Alright, so SRT Ang was selling his R1, and the guy that I got my Ducati from bought his R1. So maybe I need to do a part 2 of this video to kind of compare different year models and like different setups, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I won't head on R1 so much, but who knows. So let's talk about the handling real quick. This bike handles actually handles pretty well. Like, it's pretty flickable, even though I said it's like, it feels like a super stretched out on the other one, but I mean, this is pretty flickable, it's pretty maneuverable. We're actually about to go up to my 2 favorite turns up here to see if I can kind of put a little knee down action on this thing. We got a 255 on the back, so I'm not going to be able to use the entire tire on these turns, but it'll give me a good little basis of like how this bike kind of handles, you know what I'm saying? Alright, here we go, my 2 favorite turns, let's get it! Got a state trooper up here. I went to go turn around so I can fucking hit these off ramps the same way I did the on ramp, to kind of give my full review on how this thing handles in and out of the corners, you know what I mean? But since he's up there, I'm gonna chill a little bit, hang back. Like I said, I ain't got a plate on this thing, nor is it registered, so I'm gonna just have to wait. Alright, somebody's getting off with me, so I can't hit it as fast as I want to, and they're on the brakes, so I'll hit it a little bit. Man, I really love his rear sets. They just work so well. Like, God, they're so grippy. I already ordered some for the Ducati just so like I can hit those corners a little bit better, because without them they're a little bit sketchy. This thing has torque. Look at that. Oh, it has torque in like every gear. 5th gear. I feel like one of those real riders, you know what I'm saying, like get up on the camera, even though I do the same shit, you know what I'm saying, because I can't fucking wheelie yet. I do the same shit, you know, they be up on the camera like, bro, a R1 is like the perfect machine for that shit. It's in every gear. made it back to David's house. So to kind of go back to what I was saying about the brakes feel good, I don't know what everybody's talking about. Well, it has steel braided lines for the brakes, and like I said, this bike feels pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie to you, alright? It feels pretty good. Now, compared to my Ducati, like I was saying, it's not as, like, it's flickable, don't get me wrong, but it's not like crazy flickable. It's not like S1K, like, or, yeah, like S1K, like, you can flick it around pretty good, but I also think it has something to do with the tire size, like it being a 200 on the back, and like I have a 200 on the back of mine, so like it's not gonna be crazy flickable, but you get what I'm saying, you get the point. And this is what I was saying, like if you look at it from the side, it just looks flat, you know what I'm saying? Like it has no, like, I don't want to say characteristic, 'cause that's kind of harsh for a bike, but like it's just flat. And then take a look at mine real quick. Like you see how mine is, like you kind of sit in the bike a little bit, and it's like just perfection, you know. And nothing against your bike, David, but I guess I can say I don't hate R1s as much as I thought, but they are still definitely on my shit list, because like I said, they're just lacking all categories, like power, you know, just I don't know, man. I don't like the sound either. A lot of people say they like the sound. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the sound when you ride. Now at idle, if it's chopping, that's fucking insane. I've had videos like Amy and people like that that have R1s that chop, and they just sound crazy, similar to like my S1K. When it chopped, it was crazy, it just turned heads. And yeah, that's kind of it for this review, for real. I mean, would I ever ride it again? Yeah, I'd ride it again. But also, he did tell me, I was in power 1 mode, and he put it in power 2 for me, but I was like, nah, fuck that shit, I'm just go balls to the wall, because like I know what I'm doing. But when I was going around those curves, bro, like I probably should have had it in power 2, because power 1 is like useless if you're not at the track. But like I said, it's neither here nor there, you know. This out here having fun. Who cares, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, love the rear sets. They're super grippy. I do plan on getting some. I already ordered some for my bike, and they're kind of similar to this, but they don't look like that. They're similar to like that little single peg look, not the ones that fold up and down. But yeah, overall, the bike, I'm gonna give it a little 5 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? A 5 out of 10, just because like that's average. It's not below average. It's not anything better than average. It's just average. But without further ado, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Comment down below if you enjoyed the video. You got any final words, David? I bet. Where you get ride safe, don't get caught in the rain. Keep chasing greatness, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.